wow, right. Hindi ako makapagano kasi medyo this episode had deep dive written all over it, right? I'm going to explain why, okay? Just bear with me, guys, on this review, right? Although, well, we've seen it in the final scene of episode 2. This mandrill threatens him, but he wasn't fazed. Okay? Ang tumulong sa kanyang pulis, yung kurap, yung kasangkot ng mandrill. Malas mo. And, the mandrill now threatens to harm si Nishikawa, yung may gusto sa kanyang nurse na alpaca. Yun. Okay, so medyo na-rattle si Odokawa. So he went to their meetup place. Ayun nga, sinabihan na niya. Pero she can protect herself now. Right? And this monkey best friend of Odokawa went on a meetup with his his social media, his online girlfriend. Alright? Nakita rin sila. But who are these two na parang nagmamanman sa kanilang dalawa? Right? That was the final scene. Now, it had deep dive written all over it, okay, this episode. So overall, it's a really good one. Pace-wise, yeah, it's slow, but not to the point that it will make you sleep. Okay, like what Godzilla Singular Point episode 4 did to me, right? Siguro the second third of the episode. Pero dito, I actually had a deep dive. Into this episode. The pace was slow enough to encourage me to do a deep dive. Alright? It was slow enough. Maganda yung pacing ng episode. The flow, yeah, just goes to show. First gear shift when Odokawa was using his head. So, yung ilo ng taxi niya doon sa pinakataas ng bubong, but it should say taxi. No, it says S. Inactivate yung SOS mode. Kasi I think all taxi lights have that eh. May SOS sila. So, ibig sabihin nun, it'll alert everybody, especially the police, na may trouble na nangyayari sa taxi mo. Okay? Na either ninanakawan ka na or may nangyayari na masama sa'yo. So, ganda. That's the first gear shift. Now, I think the best gear shift came when Odokawa wrestles his best friend's phone away from him. Doon niya nalaman. The monkey, he was lying to his profile. Lying to his teeth on his profile. Nakita. Kaya pa naman mukhang nagkakasundo kayo eh. Kung ano pala sinasabi mo rin sa profile mo eh. Binisto siya ni Odokawa. Nabisto siya. And well, the girl met up with her and the girl met up with him anyway. So, turned out good. But I really feel uneasy as to those two guys who were following the girl and of course best friend ni Odokawa. The plot, yeah, it was tense during the first third of the episode. It was really tense kasi mukhang papatayin itong mother na to si Odokawa eh. Right? And it got tense again sa final scene. Right? So, pagkaka-plot ng dalawang tense moments na yun, it it was well, hindi, they were not too close. They were not too close. So talagang they were separate incidents, separate tense moments. Different story. Maganda yung maganda yung pagkakaplakan ng episode na to. Right? And there are life lessons here. Okay? There are a few slice of life moments here. So, hindi boring na episode. Right? Which makes it really good. Good mix of tension and light moments. It's a good mix. The tense moments were reserved for the first third of the episode and the final scene, which is good. Kasi if you put it close together, may stress lang ang viewer. Right? So, episode 3 of Odd Taxi is a really good episode. So, Odd Taxi episode 3. Thumbs up. Deserve it. If you're this. Now, let's talk about the deep dive factor of this episode. Okay? Odokawa wasn't just babbling wasn't just small talking with his tormentor. He wasn't just babbling. He actually deep dived into the mandrill's brain. Okay? Yung kanyang mindset. Right? This properly showed me how smart the lead protagonist, how smart Odokawa is. Okay? Hindi siya dapat ismulin kasi taxi driver lang siya. No? Hindi siya dapat ismulin. Right? He can actually deep dive into your psyche when the situation warrants it. This one, yep, it warranted his deep dive abilities. Matalino to. Matalinong main protag ito, si Odokawa. So don't be deceived by his looks. Diba, walrus siya, tsaka taba. Kasi yung typical physique of a taxi driver. Yung parang walang ayos sa katawan, mataba. Don't underestimate taxi drivers next time. The moment you watch this anime, because Odokawa is a smart guy, right? Tsaka, and the way he deep dived into his best friend's undertakings, yung pala nagsisinungaling pala sa profile, kaya pala siya nakakakuha ng ganung friends eh. Nagsinungaling sa profile. So binisto niya. And of course, he didn't exactly deep dive into Ishikawa, yung nurse na type siya. He didn't exactly deep dive. Talagang stingray talk na niya. He was true to himself during that scene. Right? And kind of liking Odokawa now. Right? Maganda yung niya eh. Maganda yung mindset niya eh. He knows how to handle himself in almost every situation there is. Pero, what's uneasy for me is during the pilot, I could still go back to that pilot na meron siyang kausap dito sa bahay niya eh. And nag-iisa na siya doon sa bahay eh. Right? So there's still questions that are left unanswered regarding Odokawa. Regarding Odokawa's motives. Right? You could still question his motives. So again, Odd Taxi episode 3. Thumbs up. Thumbs up, mga lifestyle. So, na-teaser na ang next episode. Looks like we're going to veer away muna from Odokawa. And who's this raccoon? Who's this raccoon? Right? So we're going to find out who that raccoon is. and how he's going to figure into Odokawa's life. That I cannot wait. You know, being a vampire, right? I just couldn't imagine. Okay, so technically you're dead, right? And you left alive in order to live out the rest of your undead life. Si Hanagami, yung I forgot his name. The old guy was a vampire. Made a ghost visit to his wife. Kauso sila mag-asawa. And medyo heartfelt, right? You could I could already imagine now what the lives of every member of Code Zero is going through. So all the vampires in this group are officially dead, right? And one of them just went out of his way to just to see his wife. Okay. And when it comes to Colonel Maeda, right? He's been working himself to the bone. Right? I think he hasn't gotten any sleep. All right. He's totally committed. I think he's committing himself to this project too much. Oo nga. Ang dami, ang mga kasama mo, ang mga subordinates mo, puro vampire yan. That doesn't mean you have to live like one. Right? He's a normal human. And he heads this team. So, sinabi nga na may edad ng vampire. You should get some sleep. So, he brushed it off. Final scene. Maeda is investigating a murder. Then nakita niya like yung bangkay medyo mukhang kinain. Wow. What a gruesome ending to this episode. Okay? It's a gruesome ending. Overall, it's a decent one. It's a decent episode. Now, sa pace, how will I describe the pace? It's slow. Well, I think this is an episode of lulls, right? Except for the final scene, right? It was really slow, so as to make the viewer take a break from all this gruesomeness, okay, from all this action, from all the supernatural action that's been going on. Okay. Yeah, it's slow. Okay. Probably too slow for starting out anime fans. Probably it's too slow the pace. Yung flow naman, I think the only gear shift I saw here was the old guy seeing his back after being declared dead because he's a vampire now. That's the only significant gear shift I saw here. Right? It's touching. It's really touching. And plot, not much. Siguro the Signal MD, the animators, figured maybe we should take a break from this episode and show the fans that vampires had normal lives before they turned. So yun nga, ang interesting dito yung kay Takeuchi, the scientist, his turning into a vampire really came in a bizarre way. He wasn't bitten, he wasn't attacked by any other vampire. He was working in this pharmaceutical company, and the government assigned this pharmaceutical company to analyze vampire blood. He was on that team. Okay? Isang araw, sumabog yung isang flask. It's full of vampire blood. Natalamsikan siya sa mata. Natalamsikan lang sa mata. Just like that, he became a vampire. Just like that. Right? So, in this anime, you don't have to be bitten to be a vampire. Matalamsikan ka na ng dugo ng vampire. You will turn into what? Malas, no? But, according to him, it was the best thing that's ever happened to him because his brain won't age anymore. Right? So he gets to explore all fields of science, okay, to his heart's content. Okay. Takeuchi is a true disciple of science. So, ito magagawa. To him, it's the best thing that's ever happened to him. Right? Although, nawiwiltuhan ako talaga. So overall, it's a decent episode. We got to see their lives before they became vampires. Medyo nakakalungkot to kayo na eh. Kung sa matandang to. Yun na nakakalungkot. Because he left the wife. He left the wife grieving. So, we just had to see her one more time. And right? So, Mars Red episode 3. Tama. Ito lang. Bakit? Well, I can only cite the pace and the plot. Right? The pace was somewhat slow for its own good. Somewhat too slow for its own good, because they are most of them are vampires, so the pace needs to pick up. Kasi I think they're in a race against time, and for them to there's nothing wrong. There's some R&R, but one of them tuloy pa rin ang trabaho. He actually saw that the child vampire, pero he saw it as a monster. I really want to know why he calls that kid a monster. Sa plot, I think there's no plot here. Come on, guys! It's a supernatural action anime. Put some action into it. Put some real action into it. Kahit isang scene na. Kahit dalawang scene na. Right? So, I don't want to come up with that. I couldn't give it a lower rating because I couldn't justify it. Some scenes were heartfelt, and Takeuchi's backstory, yeah, it entertained me. I found it amusing. Takeuchi's backstory. And of course, Colonel Maeda showing signs of wow, right? Bigla siyang gumanon sa chest niya. Bigla siyang gumanon. So that's a sign of that he's having heart problems, because that's what sleep deprivation does to you. Right? If you don't sleep, if you don't get the right amount of sleep, you will feel a lot of things. And now, in the case of Colonel Maeda, ito was holding on to his heart. So, baka naapektuhan na yung puso niya. He's not having enough sleep. So, that's probably due to sleep deprivation, more likely. Okay. So, yeah. The plot was, it's below average. And the pace, I think they should have picked up the pace a little bit. Kulang yung pace. But the flow, yeah, that probably saved it. But and some scenes, of course, some scenes in this episode saved it. So again, Mars Red episode 3. Sorry. But title of the next episode has been teasered, and based on the final scene, the action's about to pick up again. Right, so I'll be so looking forward to that. Mars Red is, don't get me wrong, guys. Even though I just gave it the 1 thumb up, Mars Red, 3 episodes in, it's a great anime. It's a great anime to deep dive into. Wow! You wanna know why I wowed it? Well, basically, Elizabeth is alive. Alright? Elizabeth is alive. Thanks to Merlin. Okay? But wow, alright? The final arc has taken a dark turn. Right? Elizabeth's eternal reincarnation curse is back. It has been reinstated. Bakit? Because the Demon King is still alive. Ang nag-base pala ka ng curse kay Elizabeth, yung eternal reincarnation, ang Demon King mismo. So while he's alive, the curse is still on. Alright? Basically, final scene. Meliodas and Elizabeth face the Demon King, who is now controlling Zeldris' body. Wonderful. Right? Kung anong pinagdaanan sigurado kung anong pinagdaanan ni Meliodas just to attain the powers of the Demon King, pinagdaanan ngayon ni Zeldris. Okay? The mental anguish, okay? The mental anguish. So, that's the final scene. And, well, Meliodas basically said, all those memories of friendship, trust, and love, okay? Love. He will basically throw all of them at his father's face. So, the father-son relationship is now gone officially. Alright? It's now gone officially. Overall, it's a fucking good episode. Alright? Just when you think it's all over, something new has begun. Okay? Pace. Ganda yung pacing. Okay? Because, well, we all thought it was all over. Okay? We all thought it was all over. Then, all of a sudden, kaya para nawawala si Zeldris, kinuha pala siya ni Cusack. And so are the 10 Commandments. Nilagay ni Cusack sa katawan ni Zeldris. Ayun, nagkatawang tao yung Demon King. So that's when the pace picked up again. Alright? That's when the pace picked up again. Panibagong problema na ito. Alright? The flow. Well, the first gear shift there was the backstory behind why Zeldris is still alive and why the Demon King is still alive. Alright? That's the first time that I've ever acknowledged a backstory as a gear shift. But this is where actually the episode began. So I have to. Then the second gear shift came when when Elizabeth decided to go with Meliodas to face the Demon King. Alright? Then of course the final gear shift, well, basically Meliodas said to his father, I am going to kill you. I am going to kill you. Ang ganun lang yung sinabi niya. Right? So, 3 big gear shifts. Right? Kasi, well, rightfully so, because this is the final season of the 7 Deadly Sins. And we're nearing the end. Kasi episode 15 na. There's 9 more episodes to go. So, dapat lang, magtatlong gear shift na tayo in 1 episode. The plot, teka, when it came to the plot, parang, I think it was all too convenient. Right? It was all too convenient. But, according to the backstory, Cusack kills Chandler. Kasi, Chandler favors Zeldris, and Chandler favors Meliodas, while Cusack favors Zeldris. Right? So, magkaiba sila ng alaga Kasi in-assign, because that was the initial assignment of the Demon King to them when they became Chandler and Cusack. I-train ang dalawang anak niya. So, Chandler mentored Meliodas, and Cusack mentored Zeldris. So, thinking of it now, I wasn't surprised at all. Kasi, ganun nga eh. So, favoring Zeldris, he kills Chandler. Kinuha niya yung nakarate na katawan ni Zeldris, and he also took the 10 Commandments with him. Pina-absorb kay Zeldris. So now, the Demon King resides in Zeldris' body. Right? Except for that part of the plot, magandang setup for the final battle. Right? Magandang setup siya. Pero I found it all too convenient eh. Yung start ng backstory. Kasi, nakahanap ng 10 Commandments sa isang tabi. And here's Zeldris, within an inch of his life. Panatay. Right? Panatay siya. Except for that, ayos yung plot. Magandang, matinong setup siya for the final battle that will figure between, obviously, Meliodas and Elizabeth versus the Demon King. The Zeldris Demon King. Kasi meron Meliodas Demon King. That's what I can say about the plot. Alright. So, the 7 Deadly Sins Dragon's Judgment, episode 15. Ready for this? Ready for this, Mama Lifestyle? Thumbs up! Hey, thumbs up! Bakit? Remember, this is already the 15th episode. Okay? A 1-to-1 confrontation in the human world is inevitable between Meliodas and the Demon King. Lalo na ngayon, because Meliodas now has enough magic to beat him in the human world. Alright? Kasi sa tagal na tumira ni Meliodas sa human world. And now his powers are now identical to the Demon King's. It'll all just go down to how well each of them will use their magic against the other. Alright? So this episode is still a good setup for the final battle. Pero syempre, alright, the way I see it, after the rest of the Deadly Sins are done with Indora, they will help out. They will help Meliodas out in just totally putting the Demon King out of his misery. Alright? It will eventually go to that. But right now, this is a family matter. So talagang the final battle between father and son will happen in the next episode. And this episode is guaranteeing us of that. Okay? Talagang guarantee na. Guaranteed. Okay? It's as guaranteed as a tsunami happening when an earthquake underground happens. Right? It's as guaranteed as a tsunami. Alright? Kaya, thumbs up. Because now, we the viewers have now been set up for the next episode. It's gonna happen. Alright? The final battle between father and son. Let's see who's the real Demon King now. Alright? Malalaman na natin kung sino ang tunay na Demon King sa kanilang dalawa. So again, the 7 Deadly Sins, Dragon's Judgment, Episode 15. So thumbs up. Thumbs up, lifestyle. So, it's obvious what the title, what the next episode is about. Because it's the title, I think the title has already given it away. But, who cares? Okay? Who cares? It's going to be the final battle between Meliodas and the demon and his own father, the Demon King. Halos pareho ng halos magka-level ng mga powers nila ngayon. Because, well, the Demon King is the origin of the commandments, while Meliodas absorbed all 10 commandments. Right? We've seen it in the episode. He still has those powers of the Demon King. Kasi nga inabsorb niya lahat ng 10 commandments eh. In an effort to break the curse on him and Elizabeth. So, magandang bakbakan to. So, we'll just have to wait for it and watch it. Wow! Grabe. You know, we already, we now see how that white crow enhances her powers. Nag-fuse sa kanya. Alright? I've seen it in full na. Galing. Right? She finally gets her revenge. But, what else did she see there? Her brother is still alive, and she needs to get Asahi out of there, right? And we have found out just now in this episode that the female leads, the main protagonist's real name is Sawa. For this review, we will call her that. Siyempre, yun ang tunay niyang pangalan eh. Okay? Wow! Right? I could not believe how this episode transpired. Right? It's both creepy and action-packed. Alright? It's a good mix. Final scene. Well, she's actually begging her brother to come with her, pero sabi ng kapatid niya, too late for me. I couldn't see anything na. So that's one indication that a person is dying already. Wala na siya makita. Alright? Then she looks at Asahi. Yung pala she's more than willing to die with her brother para matapos ang lahat to. But her brother said it's not over yet. Kasi yung anak niya nandun pa. She has to get her out of there. Right? It's a realization. Overall, it's a fucking good episode. Grabe. Hindi pa sumasabay ang anime na to when it comes to delivering the episode. Delivering the goods. Okay? When it comes to delivering the goods. Pace. It's a little bit fast, okay, for my own comprehension. But if you're a real fan of what you call this, supernatural animes or anything as such, you may like its pace. Okay, medyo hindi ako na-orient sa pace eh. Pero I got the story, I got the idea, I got the episode. I got the idea of this episode. A little bit fast. Okay, it's a little bit fast, but somewhat understandable kasi it's a race against time. The rest of the task force is looking for them. And of course, Sawa has to complete her revenge. Andun eh. Janome is actually the battle between her and Janome. Wow! Alright? Against an OP villain, supposedly. The flow. First gear shift here was yung boss nila was able to stop her from going to Janome's lair, but they got stopped by Janome's minions, mga aso. So pinadukot ni Janome kay Chukishiro si Sawa. So she escapes with her. Second gear shift, of course, yan. Alright? Full battle mode na si Sawa. Then, of course, ito na. Nag-transform na si Janome into a mad snake. Grabe. If that ain't a monster to you, I don't know what is. Okay, OP. It's an OP villain pala. So, Sawa got her work cut out for her here. Final gear shift came when she realized that her brother is still alive. Tinulungan siya actually para talunin si Janome. Tinulungan siya. Now, this is the first time yata that no gear shift was seen in the final episode. In the final scene pala. Right? In the final scene, I see no gear shifts. Doon talaga. Because it turned the tide of battle. Kung tinulungan siya ng kuya niya. Tinulungan siya para talunin si Janome. Galing. And the plot, a little bit jumbled because siningin pa yung origin story nilang magkapatid. Alright? Sabi ni kuya niya, one of these days you will be chosen by these birds. And a bird is chosen her, puting uwak pa. That's a rarity. Puting uwak pa. Okay? Grabe. So, except for that, the plot was good. The plot was really good. But I did not expect for a grudge match to be this early in an anime. Okay? I did not expect it. Talagang, it's totally new to me. It's totally new to me. But the plot was good. Okay? The plot was good. So, it's a fucking good episode. But except for the little backstory Sawa and her brother had, it's a fucking good episode. Right? How many times did I say the word fuck here? Right? It's just that, it's a fucking good episode. Right? So, Joran, the Princess of Snow and Blood, episode 4. Thumbs up! Good thumbs up! Simple lang. Kasi, right, this is the battle I've been waiting for. Okay, for Sawa versus Janome. Okay, I really want these two bulls lock horns, but I never expected it to be this early. Okay, siguro meron pang mas malaki pang mangyayari later on in the run. We don't know, but I'm sure Cell's satisfied. Right? So, Sawa can now move on. Okay? Sawa can now move forward with her life. And meron siyang anak-anak niya na talaga, si Asahi. Okay? I think she owes a debt to this kid kasi napatay niya yata mga magulang nito in a mission. Okay? Napatay niya. So, yun nga. For a grudge match to be this early in an anime, somewhat new, but it was done in good taste. Okay, it was was done in good taste. It was done in really good taste. Kasi, siguro, marami pang, may malaki pang mangyayari during the course of this anime. So, that's how I see it here. I don't think negatively about that. So, some normies would actually say, ay, ba't aga naman? Ano matatapos na to? Wrong attitude, boys. Wrong attitude, guys, okay? Hindi porket na-meet na ng main protag ang kanyang gusto niyang paghigatihan na nilalang. That doesn't mean the anime is ending. No. It might end a little bit better. It might have a better ending. Okay? Power tip for you when watching animes. Kaya ako, it's a bit new to me, but I welcome the idea. Okay? I welcome the idea of how this episode was plotted. Okay? Of how the first 4 episodes was plotted. It's a good thing that Sawa got the chance to get this off her chest. Para makapag-function na siya as an operative. Alright? That's how I see it. This anime has the deep dive factor. You gotta take advantage of that, guys, okay? You gotta take advantage of that. Animes like this. Right? So again, Joran the Princess of Snow and Blood, episode 4. Thumbs up. Thumbs up, mga lifestyle. No teasers, alright? This anime doesn't teaser its next episode. So all we gotta do now is, well, be good anime fans and just wait for the newest one, right? I'm impressed. Alright? Ganito lang yun eh. On your path to, well, in Cestus' case, freedom, you get to learn some life lessons along the way. Okay? Episode 2, we learn a lot of them. Alright? We learned a lot of them. But, we even got a history lesson. Okay? We even got a history lesson. If you're familiar with the history of the Roman Empire, okay, we all know that Nero was the youngest ever emperor. But he was too young to actually function as the emperor. He had his mother, si Agrippina. She was the one actually running the Roman Empire. Kaya Empress Dowager ang tawag sa kanya. Because her son is technically too young to function as emperor. Pero anak siya ng namatay na emperor. Okay? Anak siya. Okay, where was I? Okay. Now, Nero's mother, Agrippina, is really the one running the Roman Empire. Okay? Well, she caught her son slacking off. So pinagsabong si Cestus at saka yung bago niyang kaibigan na Grappler. Okay? Didn't turn out well. Alright? Then, as time went by, pinagpasapasaan na si Cestus sa mga iba't ibang amo. Then, which he finds himself in Pompeii. That same Roman city which was smothered by a volcano, which was smothered by Mount Vesuvius. All right, that same Pompeii. Final scene. Well, Cestus meets this young lady, si si Lady Sabina. Yung natulong sa kanya at sa mga kasama kanya. So, syempre, he can't turn it down because he is a slave. He is a slave. He can't turn down. Kumbaga, when a Roman noble requests from a slave, if you're a slave, that's an order. Utos yun. Okay? You cannot turn it down. So, sabak sila. Kasi meron silang, tao nito, meron silang lilinisin na business establishment na pinamugaran na ng mga tambay. Tambay na walang magawa na, what you call that? Parang ganon. Mga barumbado. Right? They're going to mess. I feel sorry for those wranglers. I feel sorry for those guys. Right now, nasasabi ko sa inyo. So, that's when the episode ended. Overall, it's a fucking good episode. It's a fucking good episode. Bakit? Pace pa lang. Right? The episode was paced really well. Okay? Kasi, ano mang pahabain mo pa yung story ng nung pinagpasapasaan na si Cestus ng mga iba't ibang amo. You do not need to expound on that because everybody is familiar with the history of the Roman Empire. How Romans treat their slaves. Right? So, understandable. Okay lang yung pace. The pace was done really well. Okay, doon lang bumilis. Doon lang bumilis yung storya. Doon lang bumilis. When they told that part when due to fate, because his original training school was burned down. Okay? So wala silang matitira ng kanyang yung talagang nagtuturo sa kanya. So he had no choice but to subject himself to the slave market. So nakailang amo siya. Until his new master took him to Pompeii, where his new master actually lives. Tubong Pompeii yun. Okay? So, it's paced really well. And the flow. Okay. First gear shift. Cestus gets a taste of how dangerous a martial art Pancration is. He got a taste of it firsthand through his friend, yung MMA prodigy. Alright? Hindi po also mixed martial arts nun. Pero, Pancration at that time was the closest thing to mixed martial arts. Was the closest thing I think to Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. Parang ganun lang yun. Grappler tong kaibigan niya. So, pinagsabong sila ni Agrippina dun. Okay? He lost. That's a big gear shift. Because, sinabi ng mentor niya, you haven't lost anything, Cestus. You gained experience. You have a future. Tama siya dun. Life lesson yun. Alright? That's a life lesson. Right there. What's the other gear shift? Okay, the other gear shift was, well, when Cestus met Sabina. Akala nga niya magnanakaw. Akala nga ni Cestus magnanakaw. Kaya sinitan niya. Because she was trying to sneak into her own home. Ibang trick ng babae ito. Are Roman women that bored with their lives? Yung tipong wala, trip lang nilang it's just a trip of theirs to sneak into their own house. Alright? Grabe yung trip. But, you see the look on Cestus' face, okay? He has a crush on her. Maganda rin yung mga sis. At ang ganda, ha? Ang ganda! Wow! Even a slave, okay? Even a slave like Cestus would fall for her. So that's another gear shift. The final gear shift is, of course, they're trying to restore order in that bar, yung business establishment na humingi ng tulong kay Lady Sabina. So yun, that's how the episode ended. The fight's about to begin. Right? I love the gear shifts. Okay? I love the gear shifts in this episode. Plot-wise, shut up ako. You know, there aren't any jump scares here, but when you're a history buff, you get to deep dive into this kind of I got to deep dive personally into this episode. Kasi I am a history buff like I said. So ganun ba mabuhay ang mga babaeng Romano dun? Are Roman women that bored with their lives? Right? Napaisip ko eh. And, of course, we all get to see again how slaves are being treated. Right? How and why slavery is the norm in Rome, at least in the whole Roman Empire. That's why slavery is rampant. Kasi it is legal. I think it's legally sanctioned. It's sanctioned by the empire. So yung plot, it's well laid out. I think it's well researched. Okay? These are facts about Roman slaves. Right? These are facts about Roman slaves. Talagang they clearly illustrated it. Alright? Ganda ng plot. Ganda yung plot ng episode na. So, it's a fucking good episode. Right? Episode 2 pa lang to. So, has it continued the trend? Yeah! Kasi we're just talking about this week. So, Cestus will probably, the trend of great episode 2s will probably end with Cestus. Alright? Magandang episode na ito. Not only will you get a history lesson, you'll also get life lessons. Alright? I might even make a diaries entry because of this. But that's for my own channel. Okay. So, Cestus the Roman Fighter, episode 2. Thumbs up. Here's another thing I'd like to share to you guys. I tried googling the logo of Cestus the Roman Fighter, then a lot of images came up with the real Cestus. Totoong tao pala to. Right? Cestus is a real person who lived during those times. Talagang gladiator siya. Right? Pero I think there's a category of gladiators kasi merong wielders and non-wielders. The non-wielders, ayan. Talagang bare knuckles debate kayo. It's a pure bare knuckles debate. So, totoong tao pala itong Cestus na to. But, I didn't get to dive deep enough because I had a deadline to read with the digest. I had a deadline. So whether this anime is historically accurate, right now, I don't give a shit. The life lessons you can learn from episode 2, I assure you, you will treasure them. You will take them to heart, especially when it comes to productivity, right? There's a productivity lesson here. You should learn from that. We all gotta learn from Cestus. Okay. So again, Cestus the Roman Fighter, episode 2. Thumbs up. Thumbs up next time. Well, next episode has been teasered. I'm confused. I'm confused. So there's nothing more to do except to wait for the next episode and watch it. I don't know what to make of this episode, to tell you honestly. But this kaiju actually goes to the surface, but all of a sudden we're now left with two sides of two sides of the story according to Yun and Mei. Now I'm down with that, but Yun's discovery it's somewhat disturbing because he just saw one of the Rodan carcasses disappear. It's gone missing. Now I don't know what this energy source Mei is caught up on right now, but wow. Alright, come to think of it. An element that can trap light. That purely defies the law of conservation of energy. Fascinating. Final scene. Just when I thought it's going to end in boring fashion, but here we are. There's another creature has appeared, but it's land-based. Okay? And then all of a sudden, shots were fired. That's when the episode ended. Right? Overall, it's a rather inconsistent episode. Alright? Yung pace, I gotta admit, guys, I don't know if you caught it, but I was actually getting sleepy watching the phone conversation between Yun and Mei. I was actually getting drowsy. All right. I said, "Come on, can't you two just talk over Zoom, which would be more exciting? Bakit sa text lang? Bakit sa text lang?" The flow, let's call this. Yung flow, the only gear ship, the only scene here that I can consider gear ship was the final scene when a new land-based creature shows up. You can see it's a land-based Rodan. Alright? It probably evolved out of being the airborne one or anything. Basta ang laki. Alright? And the plot, is there a plot here? Is there a plot here? I don't know. Alright? But yeah, that's why I called it, the way I see it, it's an inconsistent episode. Right? It's an inconsistent episode. I don't know why Bones and Orange would make this kind of an episode, because after such a great episode in episode 3, the last one, you gotta follow that up. Right? You gotta follow that up with an equally at least a decent one, a decent follow up to it. Right? I don't know why they did not, I don't know why the storyline did not focus on that kaiju. Okay? On that waterborne kaiju na super laki at super bilis. Which, the one that showed itself in the final scene. But it practically outran a nuclear-powered submarine. What happened to that? What happened? Right? Although, the episode with backstory mode when it went back to Godzilla's skeleton. Okay? And they said the music came from those bones. Ano yun? Ano yun? Ano yun? So, Godzilla Singular Point Episode 4. Bakit? Well, Bones and Orange should have focused on that kaiju. Right? Eh hanggang opening scene lang eh. Hanggang opening scene lang. Why? What happened to that kaiju? Right? Personally, I really want to know what happened to that kaiju because it practically outran a submarine. It practically outran a nuclear-powered submarine. Hindi nga natin alam kung ano nangyari sa submarine na yun eh. Kung buhay pa ang crew or whatever eh. Or what it did to that submarine exactly. We don't know. Bakit ganon? Why the sudden shift to the side story when you got a potential disaster. You got a potential disaster that needs to be told. In both the final scene of episode 3 and the opening scene of this episode. Hanggang dun lang. If it weren't for the final scene, I might have given this the 1 thumb down. Tell you honestly, guys. Tell you honestly. If it weren't for that final scene that made me think, okay, probably that was the missing Kodan carcass. It probably metamorphosed. Okay? I wouldn't say evolved, but kasi pag sinabi yung evolve, it would retain some properties of its original body. Like, the perfect sound of evolution. The crocodile. Okay? During prehistoric times, the crocodile was 5 times its current size. Okay? Was at least 5 times its current size. Ang buhaya. Right? We all know, excuse me, the largest crocodile ever caught was Lolong. Okay? He was 22 feet. Okay? No sanctuary or pool could hold him. Kaya umikli yung buhay nun eh. He was 22 feet long. The crocodiles of prehistoric times were 5 times his size. For at least 5 times his size. Okay? So evolution interfered. We got Lolo. Okay? The largest crocodile that ever lived. Okay? That was 22. He was 22 feet. And he had a huge head. Okay? It was caught on video. Talagang ginagano niya. He was really trying his best to break free. Pero talagang yung ulo lang niya ang gumagano. That was actually Lolong's head. Ulo talaga ni Lolong yun. Yung parang gumagano. Animatronics. No, that's a real crocodile head. Ulo pa lang ni Lolong yun. Ang haba na. Okay? So, in the case of this Rodan, it did not evolve. it metamorphosed. What's like a caterpillar turning into a butterfly. Yeah. Best example of metamorphosis. Siguro, ganito nangyari dito. That made me deep dive into the episode. If it weren't for the final scene, the deep dive factor of that final scene, I might have given this the one thumb down. To tell you honestly, mga ka-lifestyle, right? I wasn't convinced of this episode, except for the final scene. Okay, I'll give him that. So again, Godzilla Singular Point Episode 4. Well, I don't know if not teasering the next episode is either working for this anime or not at all, right? But no teasers again. So let's just hope they come up with an episode better than this one, right? I am somewhat disappointed. I'm somewhat disappointed in this episode. Buti nga na ganito rating ko sa kanila eh. Whoa! We get to see Ryu's eventual guardian ghost here. Okay, Higehiro, which literally means lizard in Japanese. Alright? What? Yo just made one of the biggest gambles so far in this anime. He let Tokaguro possess him. The moment Tokaguro possessed Yo, boom! He realized it. Tokaguro realized it. So, final scene. Ren is at it again. He wants to challenge Yo again. And he's boasting his shit talking about his new skills. Why don't you just stop talking, Ren, and just challenge Yo again? Okay? Tama na yung daldal. Hinahamulin mo na lang. Right? That's what I was thinking while I was watching the final scene. Hamunin mo na lang kaya, huwag ka nang dumagdal. Right? Overall, it's a really great episode. Okay? It's a really great episode. Yung pace, medyo fast pace kasi it's probably because of Tokaguro. Tokaguro's drive for vengeance. Pinuses na si Ryu. He takes mana hostage. He went to Yo. Okay? Medyo bumibilis na yung pace to. Then, it suddenly slowed down. Then, it gradually slowed down to the time when Tokaguro possessed Yo. I love the pacing of the episode. Kasi, fast pace, then bigla-biglang slow. But the audience has to realize yung probably the animators wanted to feel sorry for Higehiro kasi okay, success niya pero hindi naman niya mapatay si Yo. I totally get it. Okay, I totally get it. The flow naman, first gear shift here was Tokaguro introducing himself to Ryu, then possesses him. Right? That would set the tone for the way I see it, future episodes. The final gear shift, the last gear shift was, of course, Yo allowing Tokaguro to possess him. Ako, medyo sigurado ko kayo. Mukha lang nagkaluluwag yan eh. Sigurado ka? Baka talaga patayigan yan. That was a big gear shift. Okay? That was the last and biggest gear shift of this episode. Yeah. Maganda. Okay? Maganda yung mga cambio sa episode. And the plot ayos. Okay? Malinis ang mata. So yeah, overall it's a really great episode. Okay? It's a really great episode. So, and put my Tumblr somewhere. Shaman King 2021 episode 4. 2 thumbs up. Okay? 2 thumbs up. Now, ano, which is the better studio for Shaman King? Is, the original or Studio Bridge? But for me, it's Bridge. Mas, ano yun? I wouldn't say it's closer to the manga kasi I haven't seen the manga yet. Okay? In all years, I haven't seen the manga yet. But the way Bridge captured captures the story, and then, right? Even the funny moments, vulgar. Vulgar yung funny moments. It's not reserved. It's not at all reserved like in the original series. Okay? Talagang funny moment, all out. Pag-action, talagang all out ang action. Okay? Medyo over the top. Mas, yung action sequences dito, mas over the top is the original series. Right? Mas over the top siya. And the way Simul introduces the eventual crucial characters. Ganda. So, alam mo na kaagad kung ano ang pinagmulan nila with Yo and how they became connected with him. Because he is the main protagonist after all. Okay? So, how these characters became connected to him. How Yo has helped them become better shamans. Although, huwag nyo there is a shaman tournament to determine who will be the Shaman King. Right? So, in the end, they will fight each other. Okay? And of course, they will be fighting against Hal. So, yeah, I think Yo has been helping a lot of shamans find their way. Okay? Because one of them is Ren's sister. Okay? Then, well, I don't know. Ren himself hasn't learned his lesson yet. Okay? So, we'll see in the next episode. Okay? Kasi yun ang final scene. Ren is looking for Yo again. He wants to challenge him again. Let me remind you that you were the one who taught Yo how to do 100% integration. You were the one who taught him that. Okay? And he beat you with it. And now you're saying you got new skills. Whoa! I'm scared. Grabe. Di marunong manakot eh. Anyway, so again, Shaman King 2021, episode 4. 2 thumbs up. 2 thumbs up, style. So, part of the next episode has been teaser. I'm so looking forward to it because for 4 straight episodes, the Shaman King reboot has been giving me the rush. Okay, it's an adrenaline rush to watch the reboot. Grabe. So, I'm so looking forward to the next one. But I will be as objective as I can when it comes to reviewing, okay? Promise! Wow, for a post-credit scene, that was intense. Okay. First, the chit chats that happened between Handler and Squadron, inulit dito sa episode 3, and They lost one of their own on the battlefield. Okay, namatay. I think it was due to a bad call on Lena's part, which led to the final scene, which is the post-credit. One of them was actually figuratively blaming her for the death of that comrade. Okay. Tono pala ng boses, alam ko na siya sinisisi. Okay. I almost counted this episode out if it weren't for the final, if it weren't for the post-credit scene. Right, that was intense. Okay. Ramdam ko dito eh. Naramdaman ko rito. Okay. Overall, it's it's a good episode. It's a good episode. Yung pace niya, medyo hindi maganda ang pacing ng episode na to. Kasi, first two-thirds of the episode, it was slow enough to make me maybe do this. Alright? Parang medyo inantok ako. The pace was slow enough to make me do that. The pace was slow enough for me to doze off. Gumagano na ako talaga. I thought, ganito na ba? Alright? Then, the flow, I only saw a gear shift here nung battle scene na. Supposedly, battle scene. I saw that gear shift during the first part of the opening scene. Okay? I think that's the only gear shift. The first gear shift of the episode was the opening scene. It was aftermath of a battle scene. Yun nga, I'm sorry about yung namatay na kawal. Then the second and final gear shift came nung sinusumpatan na siya. That was during the post-credit scene. Sinusumpatan na si Lena nun ng isang 86 na hinahandle niya. Under sa unit ni Undertaker. Okay. That was more intense than the opening scene. Okay, that was more intense. Talagang sumbat. Okay, sinusumbatan na siya. And the plot, well, I couldn't say it was, hindi. I could not say it was a bad plot, but I could not even say it's a great one. Okay? Kasi ginawa na nila to ng episode 2. Pero I think they're trying to present two sides of a war. Okay? From Lena's point of view and of course from Undertaker's point of view, or at least his entire unit. Okay? We would think that this presenting two sides of a war can become complicated if you don't pace the episode well. Okay? Mas maganda pa pacing ng episode 2. Okay? Mas maganda pa pacing ng episode 2. Dito, medyo talagang the slow part almost made me sleep. It almost made me sleep. So, means hindi what you call this, hindi ganun ka-excited yung pagkaka-plot ng episode na to. Sure, it's okay to present two sides of a war. If the format of the storyline is that way, okay, I'm done with that. Pero you gotta keep the excitement level to an optimum, even though there are slow parts. Okay. It's a somewhat good episode because of the final scene, the post-credit line. Okay? I really felt intense. Yung antok ko, yung antok ko, totally nawala. Right? Nawala ang antok ko rito sa final scene. Talagang, even though they are kilometers apart, you can actually feel na talagang the soldiers actually shoving it down Lena's throat na siya talaga may kasalanan. Talagang she made a bad call here. She made a bad call. So 86 episode 3. Well, the post-credit scene actually saved this episode. Kasi talagang during the middle third of the episode, talagang gumagano na ako. Talagang inaantok na ako. Alright? In a military anime rarely does that to me. Right? So it's like Space Battles with Yamato, the original series, even the reboot, it keeps me awake. Of course, the Gundam series. Wala akong matanda ang time na kapag nanonood ako ng episode ng Gundam, medyo inaantok ko. No? Even this anime's predecessor, Warlords of Secret Rifa. Nope, I couldn't remember a time that I got drowsy from watching it. Dito pa lang. Right? But what really saved this episode was the final scene. Talagang ramdam ko yung stress ng sumusumbat kay Lena dun. Talagang totally nawala ang antok ko. Nawala ang antok ko dun. Alright? So the middle third of this episode was a sleeper. Right? It was a sleeper. And then it got really intense during the final scene. Okay? That's what saved this episode. That's why I gave it that rating. So again, 86 episode 3. Title of the next episode has been teasered. The title is about what that soldier is telling Lena. She was telling Lena, you don't even ask for our real names. Maybe a small thing for Lena and the other white-haired humans, or the white-haired soldiers. Pero I think it's a big deal to Undertaker and the rest of this union. Right? Gusto nila first name basis. And well, that's probably the mistake of Lena. Kumbaga, she still kept the formalities. And well, I don't know what the next episodes. I don't know what will transpire in the next episode. Kaya panoorin na natin on how Lena's going to handle this. Talagang na-feel ko yung sumbat sa kanya. Nawala ang antok ko sa final scene. Wow. Alright. this anime has finally showed its disturbing side. Right? You see those scorches? Okay. They're actually made from soot na iniimit ng mga shadows due to negative feelings, negative emotions. So they manifest into scorches. Okay? When those scorches combine, they become a phantom. Right? Kapag nakagat ka ng isang scorch, it can possess you kung living daw ka. Okay? Nakakontrol ng isang scorch si Rosemary. And they did their darndest to save her. Okay? So hanggang sa na-treat na siya, hanggang sa natanggal na nila yung scorch, binuhusan na nila ng tubig. Tubig lang ang weakness nila. But, Rosemary inadvertently swallowed some soot. Then, henceforth, the soot sickness. See the look on her eyes. Blanco. Blanco mata. As in, parang nakakita ng parang buong gabi nakakakita ng multo, parang gano'n, sa takot, parang gano'n. That was disturbing. That was fucking disturbing. Alright? Final scene. Kate has just discovered her secret power. Okay? The power to control soot. Yung abo. Tinawag niya si Emilico. Well, sort of swore her into secrecy. Kasi nag-usap sila, wag mo munang ipaalam sa iba to. Especially your fellow living dogs. Ayoko munang may makaalam nito. So, essentially, yun ang sinabi niya kay Emilico. Alright? Wouldn't it be nice, okay? The ability to control soot. Pero for a short time lang. Overall, it's a great episode, right? Because this anime has, well, for me, has finally shown its disturbing side, right? Kasi, pace, okay. The pace was moderate. The pace was moderate kasi pumikap lang yung pace nung na-possess ng isang scorch si Rosemary. Nakatako na naging itsura. Imagine, this scorch latches onto your head and becomes a giant spider with the rest of your body hanging in its underbelly. That can scare the shit out of any kid. Alright? That can scare the shit out of any child. Talagang wow. Right? Then, medyo slow down kasi it went into slice of life mode nung nag-uusap na sila Emilico at si Kate. Okay, siyempre. Ganun. It was moderately paced. Okay? Yung pacing, moderate. So, okay lang. Kasi, nung umpisa ng episode, the other living dolls were actually teaching Emilico the ropes. Okay? They're giving her a tour of the tour of their part of the mansion. Laking bahay. Meron pang isa pang wing yun. Doon nakatira yung mga lord, mga lalaki. Laking bahay. So, they had to give her the tour. Kundi maliligaw siya doon. Maliligaw siya sa bahay na yun. The flow, yeah, I could see really good gear shifts here. First one, yung nag-signal ng emergency kasi a phantom was detected. So lahat ng living dolls war gear to neutralize the threat. Then second gear shift came when ayun na, na-possess si Rosemary. Nakakaawa nga eh. Nakakaawa nga siya. My heart felt heavy for Rosemary. Nung pinoses siya ng isang Scorch. Grabe. That was the second gear shift. Then, after that Scorch was, after Emily po neutralized that Scorch, ito na. It was the first time we saw someone get affected with the soot sickness. That's the third gear shift. Now, it takes a lot of planning to show two good gear shifts side by side. Yung, as in they're only a few seconds apart. Only several seconds apart. Mahirap yun. Right? Mahirap yun. Because, well, you have that danger of stressing the viewer out if one of those gear shifts didn't go well. Alright? If one of those gear shifts didn't go well. So, importante yun. Final gear shift came and of course, for a moment, napagalaw ni Kate yung stop toy ni Emilico na merong suit niya. Napagalaw niya ng konti yun. Inadvertently pa, unconsciously. So she realized, oh, may power pala ako. So yun, teka nga. Which led to the final scene. She summons Emilico and she did show her na nakokontrol na niya kahit saglit lang. Kahit saglit lang nakontrol niya. Nakontrol niya yung power niya. And the plot, what can I say about the plot? It was really clean. No pun intended. No pun intended, okay? Malinis. Malinis yung plot. Talagang, it was well planned. Siyempre, what started out as just a house tour became an emergency. Then, na-realize ni Emilico na her master has a secret power, has a hidden power that needs to be tapped in. It needs to be tapped in. Siya ko nakakita ng potential ni Kate. I love the plot of this episode. Hands down. It's a great episode. Talagang, I tell you guys, this anime has finally shown its disturbing side. Yun nga. Kasi, again, Soot comes from a shadow's negative emotion. Lumalabas yun. So, when Soot gathers, it becomes a scorch. Yung palang, negative na ang intent nun. Talagang gusto niya maminsana ng tao. When those scorches come together, they form a phantom, which is much worse. Which can probably kill a living doll. Sa laki. Right? And can infect others very easily. For me, yun ang natutunan ko sa episode na to about that part of the storyline. So, Shadow's House episode 3. Thumbs up. Thumbs up. Well, we've already reviewed 3 episodes of Shadow's House, and I can say it's a really good anime, right? It's got shades of the Promised Neverland in it. Total, well, after all, Cloverworks made this. Same guys behind that classic, The Promised Neverland. It's got shades of that. Yung when it comes to the pacing, when it came to mas mabilis ang pacing ng Promised Neverland. Kahit yung season 1. Yung pagkaka-place ng mga gear shifts, okay, yung flow niya. It strongly reminds me of The Promised Neverland. Not only just the animation, okay, but also the flow of each of those 3 episodes. Talagang stamped by, talagang gawang Cloverworks ito. Gawang Cloverworks. Wow. So, we could say that Cloverworks did another splendid job, right? Bringing to life another classic, another hit manga. Yeah, I think, yeah, the way I've been hearing a lot, I've been seeing a lot online. Shadow's House has a serious following. The Shadow's House manga has a serious following in Japan. So probably they're making a lot of their fans happy. A lot of the manga's fans happy with this adaptation. Ako, sobrang ako eh. Kasi, especially in episode 3, naipakita na ng anime na to ang kanyang twist. Talagang, it can be that disturbing. It can be that disturbing. Right? And you would feel sorry for these living dolls. Right? You also see the Starbearer. Yun yung tinitigan ng masama, yun tumitig na masama kay Emily ko nun sa pilot. That was the Starbearer. And she too has a Shadow Master. So lahat naman sila may sarili-sarili, may kanya-kanya mga amo na shadow. So the Starbearer is no exception. Kumbaga, when it comes to emergencies like phantoms and scorches, siya ang namamahala. Right? Siya ang namamahala. See, look on her face. Is that a doll? Her face looks disturbing already. I think that's the only doll that looks that has really disturbing looks. Okay. Ako na-unsettle ako. Na-unsettle ako nung talagang tinitigan ko ng buti mo kayo. Living na ba talaga ito? Bakit hindi siya cute? Unlike si Emilico, yung team nila, Emilico, si Lou, si Rosemary, tsaka si Mia. Ang cute eh. Ang cute. Ito lang. Parang ang lalamunin ng buhay nito. parang manlalamon ng buhay ito eh. Grabe. So again, Shadow's House Episode 3. 2 thumbs up. 2 thumbs up. So, forgot to mention the post-credit scene, which is the actual final scene. Kasi, hindi masyadong, for me, won't pose any relevance to the episode, kaya hindi yun ang dineclare ko na final scene. But the post-credit scene showed the Lord Grandfather. Sinasabi na ng mga ibang shadow, whom they call the Lord Grandfather. Hindi nga na pinakita yung mukha eh. Pero, he was asking kung, how are the preparations for the debut. So, we're going to wait what's going to happen after that in the next episode. I'm impressed. Biro nyo, okay, the guys who will save Takemichi from this predicament he's in, yung mismong Tokyo Magic Gang, si Mikey, and his second in command, yung matangkad, nakakatakot na rin tsura. Mohok na ganon, may dragon tattoo pa rito. Mukhang gangster talaga. Si Mikey, hindi mukhang gangster, akala mo mukhang honor student pa nga eh. Hindi mo akalaing delinquente eh. Alright? But the two of them, si Mikey tsaka si matangkad, they were impressed with Takemichi. Why? Kasi, kahit bugbog sarado na siya, he was still able to stand up against this, yung ringleader, who also happens to be one of Mikey's subordinates. Mukhang hindi pala sanction ng Tokyo Manji ang ginagawa niya. So, what did Mikey do? Siya naman ang binugbog. Siya ang binugbog. Mas malaki pa mas maliit pa nga si Mikey kaysa kanya, pero he got beaten to a pulp. Si Mikey lang. In the end, sinabi ni Mikey na he likes Takemichi. So, kumbaga, ino-offer na si Takemichi na maging, kumbaga, straight up member ng Tokyo Manji. Alright? Yung leader mismo nagre-recruit na sa kanya. Alright? So, he's getting there na. The case is moving forward smoothly. Final scene. Mukhang nakita na niya yung isa pang leader, yung isa pang future leader ng Tokyo Manji Gang. Pero hindi niya matandaan kung saan niya nakita to. Okay? He met him by chance, pero Takemichi couldn't put a finger on where he saw that face. Alright? Grabe. Overall, it's a fucking good episode. Wow. Okay? Yung pace pa lang. Alright? The pace wasn't that fast. Alright? Because it was moderately paced. It was paced just enough para maintindihan natin what's it called this? Yung overall psyche ng leader ng Tokyo Manji, si Mikey. And the flow, galing ng gear shift. Alright? Galing ng gear shift. First gear shift happened nung nakialam sila Mikey tsaka yung matangkad dun sa fight club na hindi pala nila sanction. Alright? Sabi, tinanong ni Mikey, "Are you the one running this?" Umuo naman, syempre. Takot eh. Oh, yun. Doon na sinimulang bugbugin ni Mikey. That's when he started beating the shit out of this guy. So, isa na ibig sabihin nun. Hindi niya authorized ito. Okay? Kalokohan na talaga ng member na ito. Okay? Corrupt. Baga. Ayaw niya siguro sa corrupt. That really got what he deserved. Second gear shift. Oh, sandali ha. Dali lang guys. Second gear shift came, yun nga. When Takemichi himself stood up to Mikey and the tall guy. Kasi mukhang si Tangkad, he didn't know his place kasi he grabbed Hina by the arm. At yun, ginano siya ni Takemichi. Yeah. Get your hands off Hina. Oh! Turned out well kasi because of that incident, lalong na-impress itong dalawang to kay Takemichi. Lalong na-impress. Okay? Final gear shift came, yun nga. Takemichi met the other future gang leader by chance. Nagkasalubong lang while Takemichi was heading home. Hindi. Pero hindi niya matanda kung saan niya nakita yung mukhang yun. Alright? That's the strange thing about it. So, overall, again, it's a fucking good episode. Galing. Alright? It was, the plot was, well, in Tagalog, in Filipino, malinis. Right? The plot was really clean. Okay? And to think na the original leader of the Tokyo Magic Gang is dishonorable, it makes you wanna think, paano humantong sa ganito ang gang na to? Right? It really makes you think. Well, we'll just have to find out in the next several episodes. So, Tokyo Revengers Episode 3. 2 thumbs up. A solid 2 thumbs up. Bakit? Kasi, finally, Takemichi has get some headway into the case. Okay? Because yung leader mismo ng Tokyo Manji ang lumapit sa kanya. Because he really made a very good first impression, although not in the way he envisioned it to be. Kailangan niya muna magpabugbog. Alright? Pero Mikey was impressed with Takemichi's resolve. Alright? Sabi nga ni Tangkat for people who are excuse me. Mukhang we're entitled to the cash assistance kasi COVID-19 cash assistance, qualify kami. Hindi naman namin nanasikaso. Anyway, so, sayang to sayang gamit. So, as I was saying, kasi, if you could deep dive in this episode, okay? Believe it or not, may deep dive factor ang episode na to. If you could deep dive into Mikey's psyche, you would tell na delinquent pa talaga ang taong to. You're going to doubt his motives talaga in forming the Tokyo Manji Gang eh. Pero sinabi na rin niya rito, based on his mindset, he wants to usher in a new era of delinquents. Yung tipong, oo nga, sanay kami sa away. Alright? Sanay kami sa gulo. Pero, we're still an honorable bunch. Parang ganun eh. Ibig mo, sinampal siya ni Hina rito, hindi nga siya pumalag. Wala siya ginawa. Then, what you call this? Yung fight club na inumpisa ng isa niyang member na yung binugbog niya, he doesn't approve of that. It's obvious. Clear as day, he hates corruption. Obviously. Right? Obviously, he hates corruption. So, it's gonna make you think na talaga bang gang leader to? Alright? Bakit may kabaitan pa to? Okay? Why is he still honorable? It really makes you think. Nagda-down nga rin si Takemichi kanina eh. Talaga bang leader ng Tokyo Magic Gang to? The most notorious gang in all of Tokyo? It's really going to question the way you see this gang eh. Paano humantong sa massacre ang gang na to? At isa sa mga biktima nun ay yung kapatid nila ko to, si Hina. Yung ex ni Takemichi. Paano nahantong sa ganun? So, I'm going to cheer Takemichi on in solving this case. Talagang kailangan malaman nating lahat eh. Okay? Kung ano ang naging role ng isa pang gang leader. Navalidate na ni Takemichi. Mabait ito eh. Mabait itong si Mikey. Mabait to. Mabait na gang leader to. He wants to run an honorable gang. Okay? And he's taking his own brother's death as motivation to form one. Yun na, the Tokyo Manji Gang. So, grabe. Maganda talaga episode na to. Okay? I think it's a very crucial episode. Dahil Takemichi will now base his moves on what he just found out about Mikey. Okay? His motives, his mindset, everything. Okay? At saka yung trust na binigay sa kanya ni Mikey. At ni Tangkad. Yung ganon-ganon lang pinagkakatiwalaan na siya. And they really want him to join the Tokyo Manji Gang. Alright? Kaya, I am so going to review whatever's left of this anime. Okay? I am so impressed. No wonder its manga is such a hit. Okay? Ito yata ang pinaka-competitor ng Jujutsu Kaisen eh. Pagdating sa sales ng manga. The Tokyo Revengers manga has a serious following in Japan. Okay? Kaya pala, now I know. And only 3 episodes in, ganito na kaganda ang anime. So again, Tokyo Revengers Episode 3, 2 thumbs up. One of the most solid 2 thumbs up I have ever given to an episode. Kaya, well, as usual, no teasers. Right? A lot of animes are getting into that thing of not teasering the next episode. Kaya talagang, if you're not getting into the habit of teasering the next episode, the current episode you're going to air, it better be good. It better be motivation enough for viewers to watch the next episode. Well, motivated ako. Motivated ako, uy. So let's just watch the next episode. Wow! I've never been this hyped about this pumped after seeing an episode of Sevens. You guys wanna know why? Because Yuga now has a new maximum. Grabe. And just goes to show you that the maximum summon is now it's now part of the rush duel format. Okay? Talagang pang rush duel lang siya talaga. Well, I think Konami is saying through this episode that the maximum summon will be a permanent fixture in the rush duel format. It's not going to cross over to OCG. Okay lang. But it's the duel between Yuga and Hunt. First ever nilang laban to. And we did not see the mild-mannered Hunt here. This Hunt is now, nagmukhang pera na eh. Right? Nagmukhang pera na. He was the one who circulated all these maximum cards. Alright? So, the duel ensues. Akala ni Hunt, walang maximum monster si Yuga. But, lo and behold, he has one. Through the help of Neil, Roa, and Asana. So, kumbaga, inimbestiga na pala sila ni Neil. Okay, so black market to. Dapat sila, black market, pwede kang arestuhin. But since they're only kids, how can you arrest them? Alright? Final scene. Well, it's been announced. It'll be Yuga's team versus Luke's team in the finals. Sila nag 1-2 eh. So, this is gonna be one exciting finals, okay? It's going to be one exciting finals. And, side note tayo. Sino ba itong tumulong kay Hunt para ma-excavate lahat ng dual disc dun sa Maximum Mountain? Alright? It's Goha 66. Kumbaga, he's one of the elite 6 of Goha. Ito pala yung kumbaga umi-inside job, rumaraket ng sarili. I think this is without, I think Goha Corp has no knowledge of his actions right here. So that's something to deep dive into, but siguro for later na lang. Overall, it's a fucking good episode. I've never felt this satisfying since Yu-Gi-Oh! Fighting episode 69. Kung saan tinalo ni Jack yung loan shark para ma-null-and-void lahat ng outrageous loan contracts nito. And that was a really satisfying episode. I felt that same satisfaction here in this one. 7th episode 45. Pace-wise, what do you expect? It is not a Yu-Gi-Oh episode without a duel. Okay? This is the only time the pace picks up in a Yu-Gi-Oh episode. A duel. It was wow. Okay? Talagang bilib ako. Okay? Bilib ako sa duel na to. Kasi the Maximum Song was reintroduced in wow, okay? In I couldn't say an opportune time, pero we're in a team battle. Kaya all out dapat. All out dapat ang Rush Duel format dito kasi the Rush Duel format is the real star of the show here. Right? The flow, well, first gear shift here was when Neil exposes Hunt. That was the first gear shift here. Right? Baga, inimbestigan na pala ni Neil si Hunt eh. So, yun. Umami naman. Okay. Second gear shift, when Hunt summons his, hindi. The first gear shift pala was when Hunt summoned this maximum monster. So, gulat lahat. Pati si Neil, at si Yuga. Okay? The first two to pull off a maximum summon. Kaya sila nagulat. Second gear shift, of course, is when Neil admits to investigating this beforehand. Umamin sila, Hunt. Final gear shift is when, boom! Yuga completes his maximum monster. Kung na maximum summon niya. Taas! Biro nyo ba naman? For every, sa bawat sa atake ng kalabang monster, damage sa kalaban yun. Yun ang effect nito. Plot-wise, well, it's a bit predictable. Okay? Medyo na-predict ko na yung magiging outcome ng ng storya. Right? But I can overlook that kasi I've been a fan of this franchise for a really long time. So medyo napipredict ko na yung magiging outcome ng plot. Alright? But for the rest of you guys who are totally not familiar with this franchise, baka medyo ma-shock kayo. So in Yu-Gi-Oh terms, malinis yung plot. Yun lang masasabi ko. Okay, para maintindihan niyo kung if the plot was good or bad. So all I can say is from a Yu-Gi-Oh standpoint, malinis ang plot. Alright? Vintage Yu-Gi-Oh. Vintage post-original trilogy Yu-Gi-Oh. Yeah, to be really specific about it. Kasi yung original trilogy, talagang medyo unpredictable ang plot. Maraming twist. Okay? All three of them, Dual Monsters, GX, and 5Ds, nearly all of them had an unpredictable plot. Pero after that, yung mga alternate realities, including Sevens, medyo predictable if you're a Yu-Gi-Oh fan. Okay? But to the totally unfamiliar anime fan, malinis ang plot. Okay? From a Yu-Gi-Oh fan standpoint, malinis ang plot. Right? This I can assure you. Right? This I can assure you. So another fucking good episode because of another great duel. Right? Who would ever thought that the Maximums will be back? Okay? Whoever thought that the Maximums will be back this soon in this show? But this goes to show that Konami wants to tell all of us that the Maximum Summon is a Rush Duel exclusive. Okay? It's not going to cross over to OCG or even TCG. If you're into the card game like me, hanggang dun lang sa Rush Duel. So, Yu-Gi-Oh! 7's episode 45. 2 thumbs up. 2 thumbs up. I almost give it just a 1 thumb up. Pero because of its predictability. But naisip ko, well, a new monster has been introduced. A new maximum monster has been introduced, and it's Yuga's new one. So why spoil the fun? Why spoil the fun? This show is actually motivating me to actually secure a copy of Sevenfold Magician. Right? Talagang it's already in my head right now. It's a goal now. As a Yu-Gi-Oh! Both player and hobbyist. This is so acquired na. Talagang. At saka yung kahit isang maximum monster na. Kahit yung kahit yung ginamit ni Yuga. Alright. This Yu-Gi-Oh! Series never fails to entertain me when it comes to the duels. Okay? Ito ang kainaman ng gagawa ka ng sariling script para sa duel. This is one advantage kasi it's not necessarily veering away from the original story for the episode, pero you have to justify each and every move in the duel. So what better way to do that than through a script? Talagang planchado. Okay? Hindi siya lilihis sa talagang istorya ng episode. I'm really glad Konami is still sticking to its guns when it comes to putting out episodes with great duels, or either great or entertaining duels, right? But yeah, ganun na lang. So again, Yu-Gi-Oh! 7 episode 45. Thumbs up. 2 thumbs up, mga lifestyle. Title of the next episode has been teasered. Excuse me, I need to drink. I got too excited for my own good. Okay, maganda na, nakain ako. So, it has been teasered. Looks like they're gonna go side story mode this time. Kumbaga, pahinga muna. Right, before the ultimate showdown between Team Yuga and Team Luke. Okay, kasi medyo makahaba mga pangalan nila. Right? Kings and the Juvenile with R. So, Team Yuga versus Team Luke na lang. Alright? They're going to give us this episode para medyo pahinga muna. Before the big showdown. It's okay. Let's watch that episode, okay? Wow! I'll tell you why. Because they completely did a screw job on the whole Jack the Ripper thing. We all know who Jack the Ripper is, okay? The most notorious serial killer in history. Right? And they twisted the plot to suit this anime. I love it. Okay? William calls in the original Jack the Ripper, who happens to be their mentor when it comes to fighting, right? Fight instructor nila. Nilang lahat. It's not just the Moriartys but also Moran and Fred. Irene Adler is now known as James Bond. Bond with an E. Okay? Hindi yung James Bond na super spy na kilala nating lahat. Alright. Final scene. Well, basically, William declares that they really need to take down this poser or posers. Kasi malaking paniniwala niya that this isn't just the work of one man. Okay? This isn't just the work of one man. And they're in a race against time kasi mukhang magkakagera na mismo sa loob ng Whitechapel District between the Vigilance Committee, which is actually a group of vigilantes who are out to kill Jack the Ripper, and of course Scotland Yard, mga police. Okay? They really need to take these posers down before the situation escalates. So, basically, sabi ni William, we're gonna show these pigs who the real devils are in London. Ooh, ooh. Alright. Kung tutusin nyo, talagang grupo sila ng mga demonyo. Okay? Okay? Overall, it's another fucking good episode from this anime. I never thought the case of Jack the Ripper would be twisted this way. Alright? Pace pa lang. Let's talk about the pace. The pacing of this episode, well, vintage Moriarty the Patriot. Right? Vintage Moriarty the Patriot. Kasi, slow enough to make you deep dive into the episode, but not too fast as to just finish the episode. Right? There's a certain speed to this episode na talagang it will elicit a sense of urgency to you as the viewer. Okay? So maganda yung pacing ng episode. Okay? Find it really cool. The plot, I'm getting ahead of myself here. Flow muna. First gear ship, they were able to secure si Mr. Renfield, okay, yung mentor nila, who is the original Jack the Ripper. Yung palang na-secure nilang strong box from the bank, mga gamit niya pala yun. Mga gamit niya. When he was Jack the Ripper in Afghanistan. Kasi he used to be with the British military. And he served in Afghanistan. Sa dami ng mga pinatay niya doon, that's how he earned the name. Jack the Ripper. Second gear ship. Nung nung nakita nila mismo sa Whitechapel na mukhang magkakagera na doon between the vigilantes and Scotland Yard. So, there's a sense of urgency now. At talagang dapat mahanap nila ang peking Jack the Ripper na to. Or Jack the Rippers. Okay? Then of course, the final leadership came in the final scene when William himself decided na ganun dapat. And they should be made examples. Gusto niya talagang sampulan ang mga poser na to. Right? He really wants to let them know who the real devils are in London. In London. Who the real devils are. Kung gusto niyang ipadama sa mga peking ito na small time lang sila. And the Moriartys are the real deal. Parang gano'n ang gusto niyang mangyari dito. Gusto talagang, kaya niya siguro ni-recruit uli si Renfield, yung mentor nila. He wants a showdown between Renfield and the fakes. He really wants to teach these fakes a lesson. Yeah. Ganon. Plot-wise, malinis ang plot. Alright? It took us from William sending the rest of the gang on a mission to recover that box. Then, of course, in-explain na niya kung bakit bumalik na ang kanilang mentor. Yun ang magagamit niya. Then, of course, in-explain niya kung bakit he's the original Jack the Ripper. These fakes should be taken out kasi he felt binalasura ng mga peking ito yung dating alias ng mentor nila. And, well, sunod naman ng mga alipores. Even Bond. So, talagang malinis yung plot. Ang linis! Right? Imagine if you can completely twist the Jack the Ripper case for this anime. Kumbaga, pinictionalize mo. Kumbaga, pinersonalize mo just for this anime. Just for this particular mini arc. Grabe. I am so impressed with this anime, okay? And I thought I've seen everything in this anime. Nope. They just production IG just took it up a notch with this mini arc. So, pace, flow, and plot, they all came together in this episode. Talagang there's no distinguishment actually. Talagang I racked my brain just to separate the three. So, Moriarty the Patriot, second season, episode 4. Thumbs up. Thumbs up. Now, let's backtrack here, history-wise. Jack the Ripper killed five prostitutes in Whitechapel. All right. One of them he gouged the girl's internal organs out. Yung isa naman, dalawa doon, I think, talagang ginilitan ng liig. I think the other one, sinaksak na dito. Now, this episode is suggesting that Jack the Ripper is not just one person, because because of the way these women died, it can be a group of men who did this. So, kumbaga, yun ang nadi-deep dive ko sa episode na to. This episode is suggesting that Jack the Ripper isn't just one person, but a group of people. But even separate killers. Okay, separate killers and only one taking the credit. Taking the credit for all of them. Marami talagang marami talagang speculations and theories surrounding the Jack the Ripper case. Okay? This anime twisted it a little bit to suit its storyline. Right? To think na kilala ng mga Moriarty ang original na Jack the Ripper. Wow! Alright? Grabe. Being a history buff myself, I couldn't imagine that the creator of Moriarty the Patriot would twist the case this way. Alright? Grabe. I never thought the Jack the Ripper case would be treated this way. Alright? Galing. This anime continues to amaze me story-wise. Alright? And wow, okay, I'm putting my faith in this anime that it's going to continue to do so until it actually finishes the series. Until it actually finishes this season. Who knows? It might be back, but anyway, it's too early to tell kasi 4 episodes pa lang. Okay. We're only 4 episodes into season 2. So, everything's up in the air. Right? But for this episode, I am so down with the plot of this episode. The Moriartys know the original Jack the Ripper, and they're gonna do something about it to keep from disrespecting their master, yung mentor pa naman nila ito, yung original na Jack the Ripper. So, I love it. Okay? I love this episode. So again, Moriarty the Patriot, second season, episode 4. Hindi ko na sabihin Jack the Ripper eh. 2 thumbs up, okay? 2 thumbs up, guys. 2 thumbs up, mga lifestyle. So, what? Title of the next episode has been teasered. Part 2 of this mini arc, actually. So, I'm really looking forward to how the Moriartys is going to how they're going to make an example of this fake Jack the Ripper. I'm so hyped right now. Okay, I am so hyped right now. Well, Sayo made a new friend in Masami. Hasami pala, si Hasami. Nagkaroon siya kasi ng part-time job sa convenience store na to. Then, nakilala na rin ni Yoshida to. And, Hasani gave him some unsolicited advice regarding Sayu. His boss, si Goto, finally admits that she likes Yoshida. Pati lang. Kung kailang inamin ng tao, kailang inamin na ni Yoshida ang finish, which was the start of the pilot. Okay, that's how the pilot started. She turns him down only to tell him later on that she likes him anyway. That she likes him pala. Alright? Then, final scene. Tumek si Yoshida kay Sayu. Goto's coming with him. So, gusto raw makilala ni Goto si Sayu. So, that gives me reason to believe that Yoshida has come clean with Goto regarding Sayu. Alright? Overall, kasi it's neither a decent nor a bad episode. Okay? I'll tell you why. Yung pace, the usual slowness in a romance anime. Okay, I'll give it that. Yung flow niya, the only gear shift I saw here was during that scene nung inamin ni Goto kay Yoshida na she likes him pala. Knowing the fact that she turned him down into pilot. Alright? This frustrated Yoshida. I think if I were in his shoes, I might be frustrated as well. Kasi, who knows? God knows that baka nakahanap na ako ng iba. And this is the only time you're gonna tell me. Di ba dapat nun pa lang sinabi? Dapat nun pa lang, inamin na niya kay Yoshida. Knowing that she's his boss, gamay na niya siguro ugali ni Yoshida. Okay, so, that's the only gear shift I saw here. Now yung plot, it felt like an ordinary plot. Okay? I don't think the planchado plot nito. Okay? I don't think the planchado plot ng episode na to. As if parang kinondensin ang dalawang episodes into one. Parang yun ang feeling ko eh. Right? Yun ang feeling ko for this episode. I think they condensed 2 episodes in one. Getting one scene in that episode to replacing another scene in this episode. Parang ganun ang feeling ko rito eh. So, I felt na hindi planchado yung plot. Okay? Yeah. Overall, it's neither a decent nor a bad episode. So, Higehiro episode 4, I'll expound on that right now. Kasi, tama yung yun. I was actually deep diving into that scene right after I saw the whole episode. Yung scene na naging na-frustrate si Yoshida upon Goto's admission that she likes him after all. To a guy, that's frustrating. Ako, I might give up that same reaction eh. Magiging mo lang sinabi. Diba? Magiging mo lang sinabi. Paano kung may girlfriend na ako? Paano kung may asawa na ako? Diba? Now, I don't know how women think. Okay? But, to me, if you don't tell your feelings straight out right there and then, you might lose that chance. You might not have another chance again. Of course, if a girl tells me her feelings, tapos wala the feelings mutual, why not, diba? Why not? Chance mo na eh. Right? And whether may feelings ka or not, just tell the other person. Ako, yun ang isasabi ko lang dito. Pero, that person told you what's deep inside them, then you turn them down, only to tell them later on na may gusto pala kayo. That will sound frustrating to the other person. Right? That will sound frustrating kasi parang makapag-move on na yung tao. What if that person has moved on already? Diba? That will sound awkward. Napaka-awkward. Okay? Pero, probably that was the only sensible part of this episode. Okay? That was the only sensible part of this episode. Yung talagang na-deep dive ko. The rest of the episode, hindi ko masabi na planchado na malinis yung plot and yung pacing dapat medyo binilisan nila. Medyo binilisan nila dapat. Right? To the point na, but not to the point na hindi na maintindihan yung story ng episode. Tama lang. That's why I gave it that rating. So again, Higehiro episode 4. After 3 straight episodes, you get this on the 4th. Right? So, title of the next episode has been teasered. Let's hope that that it deserves the at least the one thumb up again. Okay? That this anime deserves the one thumb up again. So we're gonna bank on that next episode. Okay? So tutukan na natin. Okay? Tutukan na natin. But anyway, Higehiro is a decent anime. If you're into the romance genre, this one's for you. Wow! Putang inang episode na to. Grabe! You know what? All I can say is that it now knows how to survive, alright? It has in the if this isn't a danger sign to you, I don't know what is. The same giant bear that attacked him, that almost ate him, yung talagang inubos yung laman-laman niya, nakasagupa niya ulit. But this time, it was different. He was able to kill it. Yung laking yun. He had to go back to being a wolf. Okay? And at the same time, he was able to save March from sacrifice. Alright? Grabe. Grabe yung battle na yun. This is what... It just goes to show you that whatever life form you are, you have survival instincts. Okay? We humans are no different. We also have survival instincts. Ito pa kayang alien na to. Science has proven time and again that organic beings have survival instincts, which have been in place since the dawn of time. Okay, it is no different. Okay, ano ba may papangalan natin sa life form na kundi it lang. Okay, it has no definite gender. It has no it started formless. Final scene. Binigyan ni March ng prutas. Kinain niya. Okay, and probably the weirdest final scene of this anime so far. It said, "Thank you." In wolf form, in wolf form, it said, "Thank you." Tangi lang gano'n. Kung kailang tao siya, hindi siya nagsalita. Kung kailang wolf form siya, doon siya nagsalita. Wow! Okay? Lo and behold, we got a talking wolf. Overall, it's a fucking good episode. Grabe! Okay, the pace, a good mix, okay? Maganda yung pagkaka-pace ng episode na to. First half of the episode, nakuha ni Hayase, si March, nabawi na niya. So, on to the sacrifice. Okay? When that giant bear showed up again, that's when business picked up. It's culminated in his rematch with it. But the giant bear wasn't so lucky this time. Okay? And did you see that part in the battle, in that fight, nung wala nang ulo si it, gumagalaw pa siya. Gumagalaw pa. Alright? Parang itis. Putulan mo. It's like a cockroach, okay? This is how cockroaches survive eh. Putulin mo ng ulo ang ipis, maglalakad pa rin yan. Alright? What it displayed here, he's already headless. Okay? Nakain na ng giant bear yung ulo niya. Pero gumalaw pa rin siya. That's when he changed back into wolf form. Alright? Well, he needed a head, he needed a brain. How can he fight this thing without thinking, di ba? Flow naman. The time that it went back to wolf form was the biggest gear shift of this episode. Alright? Kung hindi siya nag-transport back into wolf, malamang nakain na siya uli nito. Nakain na siya uli ng giant bear na to. Sigurado talo siya uli. So talagang it has already developed survival instincts, which is good. Alright? It's an alien life form. It's a life form on a foreign planet. But the laws of nature are now working as it should, because it has already developed survival instincts. Alright? Another gear shift here is when final scene. Okay? In wolf form, doon lang siya nagsalita. Doon lang eh. Okay? Doon ako nawirtuhan eh. The action, the fight scene, nope. I wasn't that much surprised at all. Lalo na nung natanggalan na siya ng ulo. Sabi ko, talo to. Wala. Pero, mind you, gumagalaw pa rin siya kahit wala na siya ulo. Alright? Kung totoong tao yung wala na, patay na yun. Patay na yun. He's got, he has the survival instincts of a cockroach right now. Na kahit tanggalan mo ng ulo, gagalaw pa rin. Alright? So, I love the gear shifts in this episode. Talagang, okay. Lumagaw na, okay. Sambahin ang flow ng episode na to. And the plot, carried over from the last episode. Alright? Carried over from the last episode. So, maayos, malinis. Right? The plot twists have been played perfectly. And, of course, pero, I gotta admit, medyo expected ko na yung life-saving moment ni It. Ito. Although, I'm sure it's not conscious sorceries, pero kasi, nakita niya yung nakita niya yung life form na kumain sa kanya. Payback time. Talagang his survival instincts kick in na. Kasiguro ng instincts niya. Hey boy, this was the being that ate you alive. Okay? Abay, ano magagawin mo? Tatayo ka na lang ba dyan? Paliwanti ka. Patayin mo rin. Gano'n na nangyari. Right? So, wow. For me, this is the best episode of the anime. So far, ha? Tatlong episode pa lang. Right? So far, this is the best episode. Kasi, for me, it has to let its survival instincts kick in. Kasi, it's on another planet. You don't know, hindi mo gamay ang planetang to. Right? So the only thing that's in its favor right now is its survival instincts. Yun lang. And paid off really big. So for me, this is the best episode of the anime so far, and probably the most crucial one. Because, well, after all that's happened in this episode, it now probably knows how to conduct itself in this world. Alright? So, to your eternity, episode 3, 2 thumbs up. Okay? 2 thumbs up. Way to go, It. I was actually rooting for It Kid. Nung nag-wolf form na siya, bumalik siya sa pagiging wolf. But because, well, I never thought he could go back to his to one of his previous forms for survival purposes. I don't know if it's instinct or he was deliberate about it, pero tsaka na siguro natin malalaman yun. If he was thinking to go back to wolf form or talagang nag-kick in na yung survival instincts niya. So, wow! Talagang hindi ko na-expect na he is able to do that. Babalik siya sa mga previous forms niya to probably whenever the situation warrants it. And in this case, siguro gusto niya talagang bumalik siya sa wolf form niya. Because in human form, talagang he's helpless. He's helpless. He can't talk. He eats like a dog. Okay, he eats like a dog, not a human. And wala, parang he always gives that blank stare. Parang sinukluban na ng langit at lupa. Parang ganun yung pinta ng mukha niya parati. But wow. Okay. For me, this is the anime's best episode. Unless the future episodes could convince me otherwise, right? So, again, to your eternity, episode 3. 2 thumbs up! 2 thumbs up mga lifestyle because we're now streaming on both YouTube and Twitch, alright? So mga lifestyle kayo. Lahat kayo, whether it be YouTube or Twitch. Next episode has been teasered. May pansariling interest itong si Higehiro regarding it. Right? So yun ang clue na clue na nakikita ko dito sa teaser. Pero as a rule of thumb, don't trust teasers. Just watch the next episode, okay? Ang ganda ito napanood natin eh. So, we'll watch the next episode para malaman natin kung talagang magandang follow-up to this one.